My hair is so short. Okay, obviously my hair being short has nothing to do with the content of this video, but I mean seriously, my mom cut like maybe half an inch off because I'm very strict about how much I want cut off. And the nature of curly hair, you cut a little bit off, it's the same as cutting double that amount because the curls, they dry up and they just go Putting my vain hair issues aside, what do I mean by fighting the champions in Breath of the Wild? Several months ago, I was a part of a podcast with Game Over Jesse, as I tend to join pretty often, and the subject came up about how lackluster the bosses were in Breath of the Wild. If I can find the video, then I will link it here in the card, so click that to see the podcast where we talk about that. But that discussion got me thinking, what if we really got to fight something other than a different version of Calamity Ganon at the end of each Divine Beast? Now, what else would we have fought? I'm thinking it would have been really cool if they could have taken the Twilight Princess approach and had each of the champions possessed by Calamity Ganon, so you're fighting the champion, a possessed version, instead of just Fire Blight Ganon, Wind Blight Ganon. Although Thunder Blight Ganon did me a heckin' difficult. I died so many times. So I'm going to be taking the extra step and attempting to use my creative, imaginative brain and juices to go through what it might be like if that had been what we fought instead of the different versions of Calamity Ganon. First, let's go through what we actually fought. Before we even get on to any of the Divine Beasts, we hear the voice of the champion that controlled that Divine Beast, guiding us through the dungeon or beast. Once we activate all 5 terminals in the Divine Beast, we then fight a version of Calamity Ganon, respective to whatever element was used in that Divine Beast. Water, wind, thunder, fire. This results in the boss battles being kinda similar and frankly, boring. Even worse, they're too similar to the final boss. Now don't get me wrong, I get really frustrated when bosses are difficult, but I would rather be frustrated because a boss is difficult rather than a boss being boring. So imagine this, you're going through the Divine Beast, hearing the same voice of that champion like you normally would, but right when you go to activate the main hub terminal that gives you control over the Divine Beast, their voice is cut off, and it's followed by a cutscene where all of a sudden you see that champion appear, but clearly it's not them. They are completely overcome by malice. Now it's still their actual body, their actual form, but there's something different about their eyes. And rather than having those little blue spirits around them, it's the malice. The fights could still be similar to the Blight Ganons, but imagine if whatever gift you would normally get from that champion is used against you in that battle. I think that could add not only some nice mechanics to the boss battles to make them different, but it would also make it very different from the final boss, and in terms of the story, it would add a lot of emotional, sentimental weight and levity to the story. Now for a little bonus. As some of you may know, originally there was going to be a 5th Divine Beast, possibly set in the Forest location. And at one time, instead of having the Koroks, they were going to possibly have Forest children, like the Kokiri from Ocarina of Time. What would that 5th Divine Beast have been? What animal would it have been? Maybe a bunny like the Blurpies? A horse? What element would it possess? Well, Earth, of course. What special movement mechanic would the Divine Beast have? What would be the thing on it that you could move, which would depend on the animal? What would it be like to fight Earth Blight Ganon? Or if it was a possessed champion fighting a little Kokiri child? Or a Korok if they had decided to go with that and keep the 5th Divine Beast? Could have been a Makar kind of character, you know, cute, tiny little thing, but powerful. What would its weapon of choice be? Would it throw Korok seeds at you? That would be kind of gross. What would that champion's gift to you be? Whether it's a Korok or a Kokiri. I thought about what if you had to fight Hestu, but then you wouldn't get the weapon expansion in the same way and it would be kind of weird. I don't know, I think it would mess up a lot of things. I genuinely have tried to think about the answers to all these possibilities for quite a while now, and I really haven't thought of much, and I'm supposed to be the creative one. I do better at coming up with choreography. Go figure. But I know there's a lot of imaginative minds out there, so What do you think it would be? Like, what kind of animal? What would its weapon of choice be? Give me all of your thoughts and ideas in the comment section down below. And with that, we have come to the end of the video. What do you think? Do you think it would be more fun if we had gotten to fight maybe a calamity-possessed version of the champions? Let me know what you think in the comments below. And if you like this video, you should give it a thumbs up, you should subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you see all my videos as they come up, which they come up every Wednesday, and they're on a variety of geeky topics, not just Zelda. Sometimes it's Harry Potter, or Marvel, or Disney. I'm a geek of many trades. But that is pretty much it, so until next week, bye!